Hey guys, so I wanted to come on here and talk about this story that was sent to me. And shout out to all the people who, subscribe to my Patreon, who send donations via PayPal, and who really support my channel by sending me links to articles that they want to look at and that they want to know about and giving me the content that they want to hear. I definitely thank everybody for doing that. It certainly does help to buffer and incentivize doing a job like this, because I think that most people don't understand how draining this really is and how difficult it really is to consume all of this negativity just as a response to me wanting to really help the community by helping you to understand how the system of white supremacy works and how it affects you, not only just on a mental level, but a psychological level and a physical level as well. The primary means by which the dominant society has conditioned Black people to internalize and act out their own inferior stance is by continuously showing them negative images of themselves, criminalizing them while ignoring the level of degeneracy that has always been prevalent within the white community. This is why I come up here and I tell Black people this, because you're dealing with a group of people who are not superior. They're the exact opposite of it. And now that we have social media, I see the only purpose for social media really is to change the narrative. That's what people should be using it as. And that's why I use it to change the narrative, because I'm not going to sit on here with social media and play around and spread all these memes unless the memes are associated with switching the narrative too. That's why I tell Black people, you guys could use the media as a means of changing the narrative, but you choose not to. So I want to get into this story, and it says a California surgeon and his girlfriend allegedly raped a woman, and the DNA fears there may be hundreds of victims. Now, understand that there's a reason I say, and you can we can go over this video here shortly to kind of get some context on it, but there's a reason why I use the slogan, young or old, male or female, foreign or domestic, they're all the same. And really, I'm going to incorporate rich or poor in there, because what people must understand is that a nature is not anything that you can change. I've been saying that, Phil is now talking a lot about their nature, and Mary has been talking about it as well. And it is important to understand that there's a reason why you see this behavior in white people, regardless to their socioeconomic status, their gender, their sexual orientation, and their age. In fact, we've had numerous reports that I've done where you have older white people engaging in the same degeneracy of the younger ones. So this is a testament to the fact that it doesn't really matter what circumstance they're in. This is just how they're going to act. You seldom see high-powered Black people who are in positions like surgeons and doctors, or just any situation where they're allowed to thrive. You don't really see them engaging in these behavior, but what you do commonly see is a lot of white people engaging in criminal behavior regardless to what their circumstance is. And that's the difference, because they can sit there and demonize Black people based on the poverty-related crimes that they commit, where it's very obvious why they're doing what they're doing. It is something different where you have a surgeon who has the prestige, he has money, he has access to every benefit the society can afford, and yet him and his degenerate girlfriend still want to engage in degeneracy and crime. There was a story I did where there was actually a white woman, and she said because of the amount of power and privilege that she had and wealth, she got bored, so she wanted to commit crimes. This is who they are. This is why they engage in this behavior, because it just doesn't matter. If it is in your nature to be a degenerate psychopath, you're going to be a degenerate psychopath. That's just a reality. It's something completely different if you're engaging in stuff because you're oppressed and you're impoverished. That is not the case with white people. They're committing these crimes because that is who they are. That's why they have the highest incidence of crime. They have the highest percentage of crime. They are the most domestic terrorists. They're the reason why that's the case. And it's not a fixable case because most of the time they don't even know why these people are committing crimes. They know it's not for economic reasons. They know it's not because someone did anything to them. So when you control for all those factors and you just break it down to the bottom line, they're just committing crimes because they're degenerate. That's really all there is to it. But I want to get into this CNN video to see what they're saying, because of course we know when it comes to the mainstream media, they're not going to accurately report it. They're not going to put all the negative connotations on white criminals that they do on black criminals. And that's why I say it's up to us to control this narrative and instill pride in our people. And that is ultimately what I'm trying to do, is kind of, and I don't even want to say even the playing field, because if it's not going to be even, because they just commit more crimes. Black people are committing crimes for a specific reason. Black people do not engage in these behaviors. You have to understand that people will say, oh, well, this is all races of people. All races of people do these bad things. That may be the case, but what we do know is when it comes to articles and situations like this, and mass shootings and mass murderers and rapists and pedophiles, the face of that is a white person. And so this isn't, it's not just simple as all races of people commit crimes. They want to tell you that because they're trying to normalize their degenerate behavior. Everybody may commit crimes, but some people are committing crimes because they're set up to do so, because they're provoked to do so, because circumstances like poverty and lack of education, is conducive to doing that. And then you have white people who are over here just committing crimes just for the sake of committing crimes. So let's get into this video, and then I'll come back with commentary. Because this is definitely something that people really need to understand about this.
6 more women claim they were victims of a California surgeon who allegedly teamed up with his girlfriend to drug and rape them. This morning, prosecutors fear there could be hundreds of victims. CNN's Sarah Sinder live in Los Angeles with the latest on this. What an awful story, Sarah.
This story is stunningly awful. We're talking about Dr. Grant William Robichaud and his girlfriend, Sarissa Riley. Police are saying that the two of them raped, drugged, and when I'm talking about drugs, like the girlfriend, they said, would show up at bars. She would engage with women. They would drug them with date rape drugs and then bring them back to their hotel. And as you know, that drug sort of renders women unconscious or unable to fight back in any way. Also, they're saying that there could be some anesthesia that was used on some of these women. And what's extremely disturbing is yesterday they started with 2 victims. Now they're up to at least a half dozen victims, and authorities believe there are many, many more. Why? Because much of this was caught on camera, on his own phone. 1,000 or more videos and pictures, according to prosecutors, they have found on some of their devices. And so they're going through that. How did he end up getting caught and being investigated by police? Basically, police say there was a woman who did become conscious, started screaming in the apartment in 2016, and they started investigating this. Now, I do want to mention that Dr. Robichaud was on reality TV on a dating program. He called himself In Good Hands online. Now he is in the hands of the authorities, as his girlfriend is as well. But police are putting this out there because they say they believe there are more victims and they want them to feel comfortable to come forward.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, this is sickening. Let's hope that anyone who does have experience can call their local authorities and come forward. Thank you very much.
Now, I want you guys to understand what they're not doing, because if this was a Black person who was engaging in any type of crime, it would be about pathologizing Black people. That's what it would be about. It would be about pathologizing Black people, but they're not doing that. And so the thing of it is with this crime, you see not only that they like engaging in the crime, but they also like reliving it. And that's psychopathic mentality. It doesn't matter how much prestige these people have. You can take a dog or a cat and domesticate it, and put it in a house, but that isn't going to change the fact that a cat is a predator and so is a dog. and that certain things that correspond with their nature is not going to be changed just because you make them a house pet. This is why when people get little baby tigers or baby lions, they'll tell the person, you know, while it's a baby, that's fine, but as soon as it grows up, you need to get rid of it because it is a predator and it will see you as food, and nothing is going to change that. No amount of drugs, no amount of training, nothing is going to take away the nature of those animals. So why people don't see this the same with white people, considering allegedly they're supposed to be humans, and if they're humans, then they're in the animal family because humans are said to be animals too. Although I don't necessarily believe that. I believe that white people's evolution story of them not being humans and then suddenly turned into humans, I don't believe that that describes anything that Africans or people of African descent ever went through. I don't see how you could be a non-human and then somehow evolve from human to animal. And if you can evolve from human to animal, then somebody needs to explain to me why cats, dogs, lions, and tigers are and have always been cats, dogs, lions, and tigers. They haven't really evolved into anything. And if they're saying we evolved this way from apes, then why is it that apes, modern day apes, are not humans? That means there should be no apes. There should just be a bunch of humans, because if those apes turned into humans, then wouldn't all the apes be humans? But the thing of it is they say these things because they can't understand where they came from, which really is the pits of hell. And so the thing of it is we don't need to sit here and discuss the evolutionary theory. The bottom line of it is you have two individuals who had a prestigious lifestyle. There's no reason for them to be engaging in this debauchery, yet they've engaged in it. And this isn't anything new. This is something we see over and over and over and over and over in the white community. And yet you have these people who ignore the fact completely that, number one, this is common for white people. Number two, they had money and wealth. What warranted this? Notice how you didn't hear any talk of what warranted this. They didn't go deep into his background. They didn't psychopathologize him or her. I'm pretty sure there's been crimes that they've committed before in the past, yet you hear nothing about their psychology. This is how the media sits up here, and this is how the media brainwashes Black people, because every crime that Black people commit, according to them, although we know that there's tons of research that says clearly Black people are committing crimes because of lack of economic issues, poverty, and things of that sort. If you look at the type of crimes that Black people commit, you will see they're poverty-related crimes. I'm going to keep enforcing this so that people will understand it. However, what was the motive for these two wealthy people who were supposedly had a superior education and were highly intelligent? What is the reason and the cause for them drugging and raping multiple different women, then video recording it and taking images, taking pictures of it so that they can go back and relive it? And this should also show you that the white female is no different than the white male. In fact, she is worse because she has to give birth to and raise the white male. That is just a reality of what it is. Nobody is confused except for Black people. Even though you have stories like this where time after time after time after time, it will be white people engaging in degeneracy, you will still have Black people saying, well, not all of them are bad. And then furthermore, how is it that you can even believe in your subconscious mind that these are the children of God? Because the reality is Black people can deny it, Black Christians can deny it. You subscribe to white people as your God. And the thing of it is the only way white people could be the children of God is if God is the devil and you're sitting up in hell. That's literally the only reason that could be. But Black people do idolize and worship and try to mimic these demonic entities because they can ignore all of their degeneracy that's taken place over spans of 1,000 years. And what Black people will do is they will convince themselves that the offspring of white people is not going to be different than the people they came from. This is Black people's mindset, and they rationalize this because they'll do whatever it takes to believe that white people are God. And therefore, if they believe that white people are God, all they have to do is get closer to white people in order to get closer to God. This is the psychology that we're dealing with. But it says, before Grant William Robichaux was accused of rape, he charmed audiences on a reality TV dating show, lamenting how difficult it was for a busy surgeon like him to meet the right woman. But he's not too busy to be in a bar. And you know what, you guys know what this reminds me of? There was a show, and I don't know if you guys if you guys remember the show. There was a show about a Canadian couple. The woman's name was Carla. And there's a movie on this too. If you Google the movie Carla, you'll see what I'm talking about. But that reminds me of this situation, because in that situation, she was going around finding female victims, one of them that she was related to, and helping the man that she was with. I forgot what his name was. She was helping him to rape, drug, and murder these women. So and that was over in Canada. And you guys can look that up if you want to know what that is. This is what this reminds me of. And people would think normally that women wouldn't be engaging in these behavior and engaging in violence against women. But if you look at white people's history, white women have been there right along with their men, engaging in all the degeneracy, crime, genocide, and everything. Now, it says, fast forward 4 years, and California authorities say he and his current girlfriend used their good looks and charm. Look, notice how positive words, okay? They're going to say they used their good looks and charm. First of all, these people are the quintessential Neanderthals. That is how they look. They're not attractive. But the reason why they're putting positive connotations on him is because they're white. Because if this was a black person, they would say they used their good looks and manipulative mindset, deceptive mindset, to drug and rape at least 2 women. Robichaud, 38, and Carissa Lauren Riley, 31. Again, we say younger, old, male or female. He's 38, pushing 40, still got time to drug and rape people. Are charged with rape by use of drugs, oral copulation by anesthesia or a controlled substance, assault with intent to commit sexual offense, and possession of a controlled substance for sale. Robichaud is also accused of firearms violations. Now, these are the 2 people they're saying had some good looks. It said after investigating videos on Robichaud's phone, authorities worry there may be hundreds more victims. On Wednesday, when asked for an update on the case, Orange County District Attorney Chief of Staff Susan Kang Schroeder said 6 new possible victims have come forward and more than 30 people have called investigators, but attorneys for the suspects say they did nothing criminal, of course. And then it says how the alleged attack unfolded. Investigators believe Riley approached the women at a bar or restaurant, then invited her boyfriend over. Orange County District Attorney Tony Rackauckus said Tuesday. He's straight out of the Caucasus Mountains. He said Riley and Robichaud met one woman, 32, at a restaurant in Newport Beach in April 2016. On another occasion, they invited her to a party and took her back to his apartment once she was intoxicated, Rackauckus said. Afterward, they drugged and raped the women, the district attorney said. He said the incident was recorded on video. The woman contacted Newport Beach police the next day and tested positive for multiple controlled substances. You know what this also sounds like? This sounds like the Andrew Luster case as well, and he was the heir to the Max Factor portion. And what he was doing is he was independently on his own, because apparently his wealth and his money and all that, those things that Black people don't have that causes them to commit crimes, his wealth and his money did not stop him from having the desire to commit degenerate crimes. Actually, when white people get wealth and money, all it does is enables them to do what they already want to do. So again, this is the nature, and this is what Black people really need to understand. The woman contacted Newport police the next day and tested positive for multiple controlled substances. 6 months later, prosecutors say another woman alleged the couple sexually assaulted her at the apartment after she got drunk at a bar with them. The district attorney's office says she woke up and screamed for help until a neighbor called police to the scene. Authorities don't know if that incident was also recorded. It says attorney Philip Cohen and Scott Brothwick has issued a joint statement on behalf of Riley and Robichaud denying the allegations of non-consensual sex. They have been aware of these accusations for a number of months, and each of them will formally deny the truth of these allegations at their first opportunity in court. You either had videos recorded where you were having sex with them or you didn't. It's that simple. Dr. Robichaud said Ms. Riley believed that such allegations do a disservice to and dangerously undermine the true victims of sexual assault, and they are eager to have the proper spotlight shed on this case in a public trial. The district attorney said investigators want to talk to Robichaux's patients, though so far there is no evidence any incidents happened in a medical setting. The defense attorney said Robichaux's medical practice has nothing to do with the claims. None of the allegations in this matter relate to or concern Dr. Robichaux's medical practice or patients in any way, the attorney said. Riley and Robichaux each paid $100,000 bail last week when they were arrested. They will be arraigned on October 25th. Now, I'm not going to read all this article because I want to show you guys something, but notice how, look at this bail, $100,000. Didn't they say Stephon Clark's brother was on $1 million bail for making false police charges? But again, when I ask what Black men are doing in response to this oppression and targeting they face, I'm told that I'm being racist and a white supremacist and divisive. Now, this is the Orange County District Attorney's news release, okay? And so you see where you see the official paperwork. It says, law enforcement seeking potential additional victims of Newport Beach surgeon, reality star, he's not a reality star, and woman charged with sexually assaulting 2 women by use of drugs. But even look how they give him the title of Newport Beach surgeon and a reality star. We already know that if this was a Black person, again, we would not be looking at something that says Newport Beach surgeon and reality star. Now, it says Santa Ana, California, the Orange County District Attorney's Office is seeking potential additional victims of a Newport Beach surgeon and a woman who were charged today with sexually assaulting 2 women by use of drugs. So they're showing you what the charges are. Charged on September 11, 40 years in state prison, arraignment October 25th. Okay. And they did they said personally armed with firearm doing health and safety code. Then you have her raped by use of drugs, oral compilation by anesthesia, or controlled substance. This says 30 years and 8 months in state prison. We know they're not going to get that. Knowingly, vicariously armed with firearms. Okay, so then they break down the circumstances of the case to you. It's basically just regurgitating everything that I read from the CNN news clip. But this is just who they are, though. And unfortunately, with Black people, it seems like so many of us are lost in the white sauce that they can't even come out of their coon coma, because this should be easy to see. Really, the fact that you've been living in and subjugated to a 250-year system of white supremacy should tell you. I mean, how many white people were born in 250 years? And it's just a coincidence to Black people that all their offspring is acting the same globally. All of the descendants of the people in the Congo and the Aborigines of Australia and South Africa and the Dutch invaders, you know, those initial incidents took place a long time ago, but who's maintaining it? The offspring. That's the thing that Black people don't get. They're not different than their genetic pool. That's just the saying that white people would be different is saying that a Black person can give birth to a cat. When Black women start being able to give birth to a cat, that means white people will start being able to give birth to something different than the degenerate, struggle gene, depraved, murderous, criminal psychopaths that they are. That's just the reality. But you guys let me know what you think. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.